Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sunset Podcast for Baseball. This is Theo Rokos. You can follow me at Coach Theo. Tonight, I'm with Marina Coach Andrew Bynum. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to talk with you tonight. You have gone through a good chunk of the league. Your record in the league is, I think, 7-2 outside of league.
Outside of league,
and
correct.
And there's seven losses by 2 runs or less.
Correct.
And the amazing thing is this is a really good baseball team. I'm excited to see a little bit more of you guys against Newport Harbor next week. This is a team that I think could rip off 4, 5, 6 in a row at any time. It speaks to how good your team is, just being competitive in every game in the league. So that's my pitch to the CIF of why you guys should be in the playoffs, and not that they always line up with logic all the time, but I think this is a really good baseball team. But let's back up. I know you got Fountain Valley and Harbor this week, but let's start with you, your background in baseball, where you grew up, all that fun stuff.
I grew up in Huntington Beach as well, and I went to Ocean View High School. Played for Shane Borowski. I was his first full class, so the beginning of his coaching career. And every year, my sophomore, junior, and senior year, all CIF appearances. Won league all 3 years, and then I think as far as the semis we made it my senior year. And post there, I went to UC Irvine out of high school. Two-way guy, played there for 2 years, dealt with injuries, and then decided to leave. Went to OCC, ranked #1 in the nation there. Made to Final Four, was a two-way there as well, and then transferred, or actually earned a scholarship to Valparaiso, smaller D1 in Indiana. Junior year, did really well as a team, made to our first regional appearance, lost to Indiana, and then we beat Florida, and then lost for the first ever regional win for Valparaiso. So it was pretty cool. And then we lost to Austin P. And, Tyler Rogers, that closer, so he's the one that he set the save record against us. Ironically, against me specifically. I got out. He was pretty filthy then. And then UCLA made it further that year, if you don't recall. And they also had a submarine guy closing, and he broke Tyler Rogers' record, I think, like the next week, because they made it further. So it was pretty cool. And then post-college, thought I was done. I was hurt all through college, like I said earlier, and just started working out, training people. And then started working with baseball players, fell back in love with the game. I said, I think I still got it. Had a workout with the Royals initially in Huntington. Benjamin Doer actually threw BP to me, which is kind of ironic. And they said, hey, you haven't played for a couple of years. Go find an independent ball team to play on. And next thing you know, I'm signed to go indie ball. Had injuries there again. But it was definitely a good time. Played 2 years of pro ball and independent baseball. And then thought I was done again. And randomly had a workout for the Diamondbacks. Killed it. They said, you haven't played in a while, like what I see. And just so happened that Fernando Valenzuela was there. And he owned a team and still does, rest in peace, obviously, in Mexico called Quintana Roo, Los Tigres. Got signed, went to play out there, and then COVID happened. So it was pretty just interesting thing. And went back out there the following year, had another injury. Looking back, just trying to be a coach, a dad, run my own, at the time, travel organization prior to trying to go play professional baseball it's pretty difficult. So I think I just ran my body to the ground to where when I got out there, I just got hurt at the wrong time and got signed again the following year to play with Toros in Tijuana, got traded, Bravos de Leon, and then killed it all spring training again, did great. And then once again, like a week before opening day, after they already announced I was going to be the opening day first baseman, got injured, and instead of rehabbing there, I said, I'm going to go home. And it just so happened that Marina had a job opening. Put my name in the hat, first interview at 30 years old, and I got the job. So it derailed my playing career, and couldn't be happier, though. Enjoy coaching.
Well, you got to play through your 20s. That's
there you go. Yeah,
you can't beat that.
Yeah,
and it's funny. Like the generation beneath me, and I'm very young, doesn't realize how big Fernando was, and Fernando Mania, and he was such a great guy, and just so awesome for the whole community, and it's crazy that he's gone.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the move from UCI back to JC. I think a lot of kids out there downplay it. and look at that signing day and the hat and all that stuff. There are JC teams that I played on and against that would wipe the floor with D1 teams.
Totally.
And I don't think a lot of kids get just how competitive and fun that environment is.
I was one of those kids. I had no idea. So I was leaving UC Irvine. We were a top-ranked team. The 2 years I was there, made it to regionals as well. Supers my sophomore year, surrounded by talent. And when I went to OCC, I was like, oh, this is going to be, quotes around it, easy. And little did I know, especially then, because there was no transfer portal. So if you wanted to go D1, back to D1, you had to go JUCO, correct? And we had like 7 transfers that year. And I want to say we got 6 guys drafted that year. And that team, I want to say there was 2 or 3 big leaguers, 10 professional baseball players. And if I were to go back and pick which team would be the most competitive, I would pick that team. That team was really good. I had some injuries there as well, and I wasn't even playing full time. So I think if I didn't have injuries there as well, we would have been that much better. And we were already like ridiculously good. So it's definitely for the kids that are looking the JUCO route, definitely don't underestimate it, and also don't neglect it either. Is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's almost, the same thing as when a guy gets a big contract and takes his foot off the pedal. Same thing happens in college, right?
Absolutely.
Where the guy's got a scholarship, he's not going to go the next level. But at JC, everybody's playing because they love it and they're into it, and they got an axe to grind and want to get better. So you're at 30, you get the Marina job. Walk with me through the team. Let's start with the coaching staff.
So I got myself, obviously, and then Coach Davis, Kyle Davis, former USC guy, drafted, just a sports guy. I mean, football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, anything that keeps score. He'll know things about all of it, whether it's right now, 50 years from then, and he'll probably even predict what happens in the next 5 years. So having him in the dugout's awesome. His baseball knowledge is through the roof, and I'll admit, even I learn from him day to day. Coach Mizuguchi, he's had some high school coaching in his background as well, and his older son just graduated last year. He was a big part of our team offensively, and now he's actually a two-way at OCC. And a new addition to staff is Coach Brian Sparks, former UConn football player. So just he gets it. He understands what's needed in the day-to-day of practices and games, and having those guys with me has been awesome.
Walk me through it's funny that more coaches don't have those kind of Don Zimmer guys on the bench.
Yeah.
There's so many guys, I think, in their 70s and 80s that have just such a wide breadth of knowledge, and I think that a lot of them would say yes and want to get out there, if only to get away from the wife a few hours a day. But I think it's certainly helpful to have those encyclopedias on the bench. Talk me through pitching staff.
So, I mean, we were very hopeful going into the year, and we still are, having Nick Murray coming back after a phenomenal year. He's posted a 1.0 ERA and just dominated all year last year, and he's doing really well this year. We beat Huntington for the first time in 8 years last year, and he was right there with them again this year, competitively wise. And Tate Morris going to Long Beach State next year. He's been doing really well, dealing with some arm injuries throughout the year, so hasn't been as consistent in terms of week to week, if that makes sense. And something that happened this year that was unexpected was our sophomore returner, who's now a junior, Liam Haynes, not having him this year, also dealt with some injuries and still is. So the guys that stepped up have been just phenomenal. Bradley Hall, Luke Graves, Brody Schatzman coming off the basketball. We didn't even expect him to pitch as well as he's doing. So it's been great to have them, and Justin Rackley as well. So the younger guys that are new to varsity have been really well. So they've been doing a really good job, and just having them when we didn't expect to need them has been awesome. So they're keeping us in every ball game, like you mentioned earlier. We're a hit away. We're a timely hit away, timely defensive execution away. In every ball game. So we're right there, and it's mainly because of the staff, 100%.
Well, the league is just every day is a war. It's wild. And you guys have been in every one. It's wild. And I think pick up some momentum here. And I think I can't imagine every team from that league not getting in. That's just what I mean. It just doesn't seem Right. I know the CIF well, and I've seen it all, but it's
Yeah.
like it just seems like it should.
We're trying to get there.
Yeah.
100%.
And then up the middle, behind the plate. Who's behind the dish?
Max Coney's been a huge addition this year. Another player that came up with soccer. So we didn't have him all winter, and was not expecting to have him behind the dish as often as he has been. But he's stepped up huge. He's caught almost every single game. We have another player, Elijah Harold, that's dealt with some great issues early on. So having him back and understanding that the books are important, right? And having him eligible now moving forward. We expect to see him behind the dish as well. So these next 6 games are very important, and we'll definitely see some new faces throughout those 6 games.
Got to keep up on the books when your coach got into UCI, right?
Truth be told, I did not get in, just to be honest with you, but I did have good grades. I had a 4.2, and I remember Ted Silva at the time was the heavily recruiting guy, and he came over and he's like, hey, really like what I see. And I'm like, Coach, I didn't get in. And he's like, okay. And the next week, congratulations. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
Right. It's so crazy how competitive it is.
But no,
just getting
yeah.
in straight now.
Absolutely.
It's wild. In terms of hitting wise, how are you keeping your guys focused on hey, you're seeing top level competition, and you'd rather see that than put up 15 runs a game because it benefits you to see better pitching. Like as a coach, you always want, like I always try to be like, look, you want to.
I wouldn't mind 15 runs, though.
No,
Just
I mean, you never do. But especially off a really good pitcher, that's great. But I mean, how do you keep the confidence up at the plate of like, hey guys, we're facing somebody that's pretty good every game?
I think that the main thing is just understanding to minimize and control what we can. We can't control what he throws. We can't control what the umpire calls. We can't control what they play us. At times, it's hard to control a swing. Anyone that's played the game, we're going to get beat at times. But I'm hoping these next six games that our players really settle in and understanding that control our load, control our rhythm, control our approach, and then the uncontrollables become a little bit less difficult, and hopefully the outcome becomes a little bit better moving forward, because we are facing good pitching every week.
Are you more of a Tommy Lasorda or a Dave Roberts guy? I mean, are you super analytical or going off of feel? Are you scout? I mean, how much film are you watching on other teams?
So that's something I'm still struggling with, to be honest with you, because as I'm still learning the difference between playing and coaching, right? So as a player, I want the big hit. As a player, I want the big swing 2-0. And as a player, I could sit a pitch and take another pitch, right? And as a coach, I'm realizing not all players can do that. So being more analytical moving forward, these next 6 games are so vital, and we're going to have to be a little bit more analytical, taking certain counts, and understanding that there's only so many things that we can control, like I said earlier, and one of them is hitting the ball, So we're going to kind of go back to the drawing board when it comes to just say, let's put the ball in play, let's be a little scrappier, let's get on the dish, let's choke up, and understand that, hey, like, we got to hit what's given. That's one of my biggest things. Like, anyone that's played with me or played next to me or against me, for all I know, left center is where I live. However, if they're not going to be throwing middle in, we have to adjust, and that's something that we're having a difficult time doing, is just hit what's given. If they're throwing outside, go that way,
It's wild. It's like in youth baseball, right? There's always the annoying parent talking to the kid when they're hitting.
Yep.
They get the elbow up,
Absolutely.
dad, right? Which drives me insane. But it almost seems like, and it's interesting to come back and watch now, of maybe, and this is just my take and doesn't really mean anything, but it just seems like sometimes it's so analytical. Like, you watch these guys and they're pulling the sheet out, playing shortstop, and he's looking at the sheet. It's like, the guy's a dead pull hitter. Like, what do you move over in the hole? And it just seems like it's crazy how the difference between that stuff, and each game's so different. Like, if you're getting pitched outside, like you said, you got to go the other way. Take what you're given, and it's interesting to watch the changes in the game.
Yeah.
And I think, but I think especially for high school kids, it's like sometimes that wiping the slate clean and kind of going back to just hit the ball. Like just
simplify.
have some fun, let it rip. How do you see the league playing out kind of in years to come? I know you're in an open district that can make things interesting, but I think it seems like it's a league that's not going to go anywhere in terms of talent wise. But how are you guys feeling about where you guys are at, and walk me through like the percentage of seniors, juniors, sophomores, the future a little bit.
Yeah, so we're losing 10 seniors this year. The guys that we have coming back have got considerable playing time in certain areas, right? But just in my opinion, what's going to help us a lot is just understanding that there is a culture that we're trying to create, a program we're still trying to build. Taking over a 6-22 team. They were 6-22 for a reason, and it stems not just from talent. I think the first year I took over, from a talent perspective, that was the most talented group that I had when it comes to speed, power, arms, the eye test even. Yet the baseball IQ is lacking a little bit, and I think that when it comes to the future of Marina, it's going to be a little bit more savvy, if that makes sense. More feel, more understanding. I don't want to say more bought in, but in a sense, more bought in into understanding that, hey, if we're going to compete in this league, because I agree, I don't think the talent's going to be going anywhere. We have to be doing these things and understanding these things, and not rely so heavily on things that they shouldn't lean on us coaches for, if that makes sense. Like, they should have an idea. We shouldn't have to be holding hands every 2 seconds, looking, oh my gosh, why is he sitting there? Why is he there? Why is he here? Or, even this year, the varsity guys, what do we bunt in this situation? And a lot of them don't even know the answer, and that needs to change.
Right.
We just have to be aware. The awareness is going to be vital for our success moving forward, and I like the route we're going. I'm aware of, it's the first year we have a lot of kids coming in that I know who's coming in, and it's not even just the talent-wise, I'm just understanding the game.
What's your take on where youth baseball's at right now? Are you a multi-sport guy? When do you like them to focus? Do you like them to focus in? Obviously, if there's a talented guy, you're gonna, there's a great soccer player, great football player coming out.
I'm huge on playing as many sports as you can, especially prior to high school. Now in high school, hey, let's be a little bit more real, but even then, I'm gonna be a component of that. If you want to play basketball, play basketball. If you want to play baseball and basketball, understand the role that you need to take and have prior to baseball season. If you want to be successful in baseball, and make sure we're still taking swings on our own, make sure we're doing what we can. Same thing with football. I love it. I say do it all. I have 2 boys of my own, and I'm going to try to get them in everything that they want to be in, right? So, and then when we get a little bit deeper down the line, then it's like, hey, do you want to do this just for fun, or do you want to take this serious? And I think that's the talk that is not necessarily needed with me and certain players, or any player for that matter, unless the parent wants me involved. If the parent wants my intake, for sure, but I'm not their parent at the end of the day. But I'll definitely give my 2 cents if they ever ask. I'm not going to say, hey, if you play Marina Baseball, you can't do this or this or this.
And then balancing the number of games with youth. How are you? What's your take on that?
It's too many.
I think it's
way too many. So, and mind you, it's something I didn't mention earlier. I've been in the youth travel baseball community for the past 10 years. That's how I got back into baseball. I still have a travel ball program, 14U under. And I try to convince my parents all the time that, hey, 1 tournament a month is plenty.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do for my kids. And they still oh, no, we got to play more. We got to play more. And I'm a huge component, or a huge advocate, I should say, of training. Training, learning, because also it's almost comical at times to be oh, my son's slumping. Your son plays every other weekend. There's no such thing as a slump if you're not playing every single day. You know what I mean? It's you're learning from these things, and rather than go back to the drawing board and work on this, and this, they rather get back in a game, and they rather compete with what they know instead of compete with what they've been trying to work on. So in my opinion, youth baseball, I'll just be frank, it's just interesting. It's just interesting right now.
I coached travel for years, and we did it with a group of guys that kind of played other sports.
Okay.
So we would try to keep it on that 1 or 2 tournaments a month thing, and the parents that pushed the kids into every weekend. And then the other thing too is it kind of took away the like Saturday morning Little League games, which I never let that. I played that, made my kid play that all the time. Man, to me, that's if taking the fun out of it early. Is because as there's a point when it doesn't become fun. You got to fight through those times.
Yeah, no,
so
for sure.
It's just it's just in an interesting spot, and they all have at least $2,000 a gear. That's the thing. I went to the club. I couldn't believe it. The glasses and the hats and the arm sleeves.
Yeah, just everything. Yeah, so
I mean, it's
pretty wild.
The money being thrown around in there
is and more power to you, parents, for making your son look the way he looks and all those things. But
my dad was a old baseball player, played pro at UCLA, and he played at UCLA. And I try to imagine like telling him I need $200 sunglasses and how that conversation would have gone.
I had a $45 glove that my dad worked for Staples back in the day, and it was like a catalog. Like, he sold so many points. Here's like a reward thing. And I just saw a Rollins glove. I'm like, let's get that. And then I remember when I later on realized my senior year, mind you, right? It was a $45 glove.
Right.
And I was using that, and I was like, I still fielded the ball. It was fine. I still ended up getting a scholarship.
It worked.
With the $45 glove. So, and there's 8-year-olds with $300 gloves custom.
And then the biggest thing is I remember like they have the now they have the break it in machine. I mean, mine was you had two baseballs, the Vaseline and the rope, and put it under your pillow. Get it how you want it.
I don't know if I didn't quote this or I don't claim this, but someone told me, our gloves are baby, right? Like, what do you put your baby in an oven?
Right.
Like, get that steamer out of there, man.
That thing just is unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's the youth travel baseball. It needs to simmer down a little bit, in my opinion. This is someone that I make a living in that, and it's wild. It's wild, and it's also upsetting at times because it's just like, what I would do for my own kid, especially like 13 and 14, like those are vital years to really learn, to really work. Maybe get in the weight room a little bit more if your son's ready for that. Then play another game and another game and another game, and I've tried to get on my own club just one tournament a month, maybe a scrimmage controlled. Let's put people on base. Let's learn how to bunt.
Situational.
100%. That's something that we did early on with Marina this year. The prior 2 years, we had a rather normal fall-winter program. We were in the Ryan Lemon League, and it's a great league. It's awesome. Some of the midweek games would take away from our practices, and on the weekends, a lot of the coaching staff is spread thin, so it's hard to be like, hey, let's get it together as a Marina club. So we did a lot more in-house stuff, and I wanted my coaching staff to get better connections with the kids, and we did controlled scrimmages, all those things. I think it paid off for sure in the beginning, and if we were able to kind of go back to that prior to some of these league games, I think it would have been that much more helpful. But obviously we're in season and got to adjust. That's all there is to it.
It hit me with the youth thing. We took a team to Cooperstown.
Yeah, I've been there.
And there was a team we played, and it was the best 12 kids from a southern state, sure. and they were just all mercenaries at 12. Like not like club, not even a club team. Or like, and we were like literally kids from the neighborhood.
Local. Yeah,
and I'm like, is it that important to you guys to get this win? It was crazy. And then you talk to them and you're like, oh, it is that important to this guy. This is it.
Yep.
So that was interesting. But man, sleeping in the barracks with those. That's a long week.
I'd become another 12-year-old, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
so I don't mind it. On the flight there, I'm like, oh, man. And then I'm there, and I'm like, you know what? Let's make some memories with some kids. So.
My 10 p.m. lights out lasted for about 4 minutes. You know,
we were playing dodgeball and stuff.
Everything goes on. I'm like, you know what? I just got to do whatever you want. Like, nobody get in trouble.
That's funny.
I don't want to have to talk to the director. You ready for questions for Coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Favorite baseball player?
Favorite baseball player, Sandy Koufax.
Wow.
Yeah.
The lefty. You're going
doesn't really like go with me at all. But if we're going more recent, Matt Kemp.
Okay.
Matt Kemp. Yeah.
Nice. Matt Kemp. He was talented.
And if we go before that, Cesar Turris.
All right.
Because I had like I evolved, so to speak. So my freshman year, I was 5'1", 92 pounds.
Okay.
So I was a little guy.
Right.
Sophomore year, I was like 5'4", 115, soaking wet. So obviously I idolized Cesar Turris. That's my guy. Smaller, shortstop. I was a shortstop. And then my senior year, I grew. So naturally, 6'1", 180 probably at the time. I'm like, oh, Matt Kemp's my guy now. No longer stays serious.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Favorite Major League Baseball team?
Dodgers.
Same.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
My favorite player is Gibson.
Oh,
I'm from that.
awesome.
So, and then
Tracy Woodson played with them, the World Series.
Yep. They had he used to battle Jeff Hamilton for the third base job.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah.
it was whoever got a hit that week got to start.
That's awesome.
And then they had Fettuccine Alfredo Griffin at short. He was a really underrated shortstop.
Okay.
He was good, and that Sosha behind the plate.
Yep, it was a good team.
And that's Hershiser was pitching. Then they went for Rick Dempsey,
Felty.
Steve Sachs.
Yep.
He was interesting. Sometimes he wouldn't be able to throw it to first. He had that mental thing. Did you ever hear about that?
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant?
Ooh, right now or ever?
Let's go ever.
All right, let's go. Favorite restaurant? That's so hard. I'm gonna go right here just because I've been going there a lot lately. Yard House, big fan of Yard House. Yeah, their appetizers are legit. They're legit. Yeah.
That shrimp.
And then Rip too. Rip and off of PCH.
Good.
Solid.
All right.
Solid.
All right. Favorite movie?
Ah, man. Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I got dragged to that. It's shockingly
good.
good.
Movie. It's a good movie.
So was the second one.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Or second one. Yeah.
The first and second one were I actually enjoyed those.
Yeah, they're funny.
Favorite vacation spot?
I would say I'm gonna keep it a little less. Not what you expect. Kern River.
Kern River,
Lake Isabella. Went there a lot as a kid.
The amazing thing about the Kern River is when you drive in and it says 452 lives taken by the Kern.
Yeah,
and we actually had an incident on that river. Had to get saved.
A lot of people, no way.
Yeah, it was. I'm not going to tell the story on air, but it was. There was a lot of older in 20s beer and whatnot.
I had a feeling
it was no, but it is real. It can kill you quickly.
No,
it's
crazy.
Crazy river, but there's
crazy.
great swimming holes up there.
Yeah, no, it's my family's been going there forever. My dad went there since he was a kid, so I've been going there since I was a kid. And I saw my uncle almost drown. So.
And it's kind of unknown down here.
Weird.
It's so weird because it's not that far of a drive.
3 hours, 3.5.
No, it's a really cool spot, but that thing is deadly.
Yeah,
deadly. Coach, it's any superstitions?
We have one right now for Marina. So Coach Davis, I switch off who hits pregame. If our team wins and I hit it, then I hit again. If I lose, then he hits the next one. If we win, then he continues to go. So that's about it. No, I don't really have any superstitions.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I work too hard to be superstitious, man.
Gotcha. So don't count Marina out. It's a very good baseball team. I'm coming out to see you on the 28th. Excited about that, and we'll talk before or after the game. But I'm excited for these next two series for you guys. I think this is the sleeper team in the league. And I really think they should be in. But thank you for coming, and we'll see everybody soon.
Appreciate it, man. Go Vikings.
Go Vikings. Have a good one.